Hi, this is Coding Practice Academy. Hope all of you get some motivation from the previous videos to learn the C language. Watch the videos while enjoy the learning. Apply those concepts. Whatever you learn, practice makes you perfect. Keep watching all the videos. We'll explore more and more logic and applications. We already learned the theory regarding the assignment operator. Those who have not, please watch corresponding video. Link is given above. Today, we implement the theoretical concept of assignment operator into practical implementation. Few solution tips are given. As we need the C compiler. Here dev C++ is used. We need the header files. We need the main function to write the body of the program. And the most important thing is we need the assignment operator to assign the value to a variable. And ultimately, using Printf function to print and check those values. Let's write that program. Now let's write that program. Our problem statement is write a program to show the declaration, assignment of values to a variable and then print. Simple problem. The next line is the message. This is the message to the others whoever using this program. It shows explain various types of declaration and assignment. So in this program, we are going to explore the various type of assignment using the assignment operator. And finally, using the printf function to print the value of those variables. Let's see how we can assign those values to variables. First, we need to declare. This part shows the only declaration of variables. I am not explaining these section, that is the hash include, str each, void main and opening bracket and closing brackets. We have already discussed all those things in the previous videos. If you need, you can watch those things. So this is the only declaration. That means here we are declaring those variables. These are the variables declarations. Variables are A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 and A6. And these are the data types. Int is a data type. Here is another data type. Short is the qualifier. Long is the another qualifier. Okay. These are the signed part, and we also declared the unsigned part. So the previous program was based on the how to declare those variables and what are the memory allocation of those signed and unsigned. Here we also again declare all those variables again, along with the floating type variables float and double. So these are this section only declares the variables. We still have not assigned any values to those variables. The next is the declaration and assignment together at the same time. That is, A7 is a variable which is of integer type and we are assigning 2, that is a value to this variable. Variable is A7. Again, int is A8 is another variable which is of integer type whose type qualifier is long. That means the allocation size is more than the normal integer. And we are declaring this value to this variable. Okay. Next we declare the character C1, character C2 and character C3. The simple character, signed character, unsigned character. We declare all those things. Okay. See that in the character section, it is in the single quote. L, M, N, all those are in the single quote. If we use the double quote, then it will become a string. Okay, remember that the character is enclosed in the single quote and there is only one character L, M, N. See that we are not using L1, L2 in this case. Means if you are instead of using M, if you are using the L1, then L2, then it will give a warning. that is multiple character, or you are using the multiple character. So the next is assigning value to variables. Which variables? Those which have already declared. These are the variables A1 to A6, and another two are floating types B1 and B2. Here we are assigning value to those variables A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. See that there are different range of values are there. How many 2's are there? 6. How many 2's are there? 5. How many 2's are there? Again 6. A5 up to 5 and A6 up to 9. See, the declarations are there. According to the declaration and the range, we assign those value to variables. If you try to assign more than these values, that means after 6, if you assign 7 consecutive 2's, it will give some warning in that overflow. Similarly, this is the short integer, so its size is shorter than the previous normal integer. Okay. Then two floating types variables are assigned. One is for float, another is for double. These are the two. We use the 14 digits after decimal points. We know that while we are using the float or double, normally it will show up to 6 decimal points. That means after decimal point there is a 6 digits are present. We will explore that part while we are executing that program, this program. Now we are printing those variable values using the printf function. Now for this printf function, you need to know the syntax of the printf function. Those videos are already uploaded. Please watch those videos to see for the syntax. Now within this double quote, see that I'm marking here, this double quote is a control string. So here we need to mention the supporting values of the arguments. Now these are the arguments. How many arguments are there? Arguments are separated by commas. So that means there are two arguments. A1 is a one argument. Size of A1 is a second argument. So there are two arguments for this printf function, the first printf function. Okay. Now for A1 in the control string, now A1 is an integer, so we need to mention %d for A1, and size of is another. So we are returning the size of, we know the what is the use of size of, because from the previous video we already explained what is the use of size of. So size of returns the size of integer, size of a variable, size of a data type, like that. So not only we are using that variable values or printing those variable values, we are also showing here within this printf what is the size of, means allocation size of A1. So the value of A1, it will show the %d, that means what is the value of A1, this A1. So 2, 2, 2 consecutive 6 2's, it will be the output, consecutive 6 2's, and the size of A1, since I'm using here the 64-bit operating system and dev C++ compiler, the size, the number of bytes occupied by an integer while declaring it, it will be the 4 bytes. We'll find that while executing that program. Similarly, for the next printf, what is for A2? What is A2? A2 is the short integer. Now the qualifier is used for short integer %d, for long integer %ld, for unsigned %u, for this one after unsigned, see that unsigned short int, unsigned long int. So for unsigned part, this one short int, and for long int, short int and long int. Okay. Okay, so U is common, H and L are changing. Here D is common, H and L is changing. Okay, for all of the cases we are using the size of operator. It will show how many bytes it will occupy. Next, for the variables for A7 and A8. What is this A7? A7 is integer type. Yes, A7 is integer type and A8 is the long integer type. This is the declaration and assignment at the same time. So we are also printing that with the A7 and A8 and the size of operator. For normal integer %d and for long integer ld is used. Small ld, remember. Next is the B1, B2. What is B1, B2? Floating types. See that? B1, B2, yes. B1, B2. Float B1 and double B2. Here we are only declaring those variables and we are assigning the value of those variables here. For B1 and B2, the same value is assigned. For B1, B2, this. Again, we are using the size of operator to show what is the size occupied after declaration by B1 and B2. Next, we declare the character type variables: character, signed character and unsigned character. And we also assign some value to those variables. L value is assigned to C1, M value is assigned to C2, N value is assigned to C3. Okay. So in this example, last, the printf function, the value of C1. Here we are using the %C. That means what is the value of C1? It will print the value of C1, that is the L. The first L, it will print the L and the size of C1. Hope you remember the size of C1 is 1 byte. So instead of %t, we need to use the %d, means how many bytes it will occupy. The size of operator will return the size occupied by a character data type once it is declared. Similarly, we use the signed part and unsigned part for this other two variables, C2 and C3, signed and unsigned character. Okay, so let's compile this program. Compile, execute and compile. Okay, compilation is complete. See, there is 0 error. That means we can go for the execution, that is the run this program. So execution complete, it will show that the result, the value of A1, that is 6 consecutive 2 and the size of A1 is 4 bytes. Similarly, for A2, the value of A2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive 2 and the size is of 12 because it is a short integer. The first is the normal integer, second is the short integer. Similarly, after that we use the long integer, unsigned, all the unsigned parts, everything. Similarly, for floating types, see that floating types B1 for B1 and B2. See that in this part 3.141593. So how many digits after the decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because whether it is the float or even the double, the normal printing sequence are 6 digits after the decimal. You can increase it. There are several other methods are there. We'll show there in another video. The first float is occupies with a 4 byte, while B2 is a double, it occupies the 8 byte. Then we declare and assign some values to the character data type. C1 is L, so it will print the L value. C2 is M, C3 is N. Each of them, whether it is signed, unsigned character, all occupies the 1 byte. So this is the total discussion regarding how to declare a variable and how to assign the value to variable, then how to print it. Even we are using the size of operator within the printf along with the printing of values. So multiple arguments can be supplied to the printf function also. Thank you.